Sony HVR-Z5 needs its main control PCB replaced. It's a VC-543. That's the number on the PCB, and here it is in its packaging. I'm going to replace that. Okay, I'm going to start on this side here first. There's a couple of screws here on the top. One in here. Remove this cover. There's a screw here. And then we go down below. See, can I zoom in there a bit? We have this cover here. It comes out, and then that is for the that is the connecting cable for the switch for the, going over to your camera, for switching on and off your camera and your record button. And of course you've got your little port up here as well. Looking very closely at that, looks like it is tore. There's a slight bit of tear on it right there. Don't know if the camera can pick that up or not. Then we've got a couple of screws here. And then off it comes. Now, we've got a load of cables here we can take out. This lifts up, comes out, one here in the bottom. This one here. Lift the tabs, comes out okay, and we have one here of course, that just pulls out. And we got the tabs here in this one, this lifts from the back, goes like that. Now we're going to turn around the camera so we've got these other connectors here. This tab lifts this way, comes out, but this one here lifts from the back. It's different. Don't try to lift it from the front. It's out, and these just pull out. We've got 3 more of these. Okay. And then we just take him out here. on the button as well. Right here. Okay. Now we'll get these 4 screws off. They're different coloured screws, copper colour on them. Now we have this one here, we've got to pull out, so can we get close up. And we have this one here that goes down to the tape deck. So we'll just pull him out and then slide him out. Now, put the camera aside. There's our new PCB. Transfer that cable over to it. Transfer that heat transfer sheet onto us now. Okay, we have a couple more pads here on the bottom. Just keep make sure you know where to go. Okay. I like to put this cable on first. This one here that goes to the output socket, the HDMI output socket. Because it's hard to get in there when the PCB is in place. Gets it in. Yeah. Make sure your cables are, one of your cables are catching. I'm going to put my 4 screws back in place. Incidentally, the problem with this Sony camera was it would not switch on. There was no on-screen graphics, no menu. I tried to reprogram it, but the PC wouldn't communicate with it. I thought about I just talked there about that cable that was slightly stripped. I said I thought that maybe because that cable was stripped, this one here on the bottom of the board, because that port that does the communication between your PC and the camera uses that cable. Yeah, it was faulty, but maybe it reads from the PCB, but it could be a write problem. But as far as I know, it's only a 2 cable connector. That means that you would transmit and receive down the same wire. Okay, there's my 4 screws in. I'm going to put these cables back in. Some of them go in easy, some of them need a bit of persuasion, but don't damage the cables, they are expensive. Okay, that's that in. Make sure your tab is down fully. We have a connector underneath here. Here. Okay. Now we'll go around to these cables here. Your tabs are lifted up. And there you go. Try to press down using as much of the connector as possible. I find if I just push down one part of the connector, it can snap out of one of its retainers either side, so I'll try to push down both sides. And we have this, just turn around the camera. We have this connector up here. A little bit tricky. The other one here at the bottom, right here in this spot here. I normally use the tweezers in each corner here to force it in, sorry, not force it in, but slip it in each side so it doesn't go in at an angle. Okay. so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, now, so here they, just make sure they're up. This one goes in handy enough. Makes a nice little clicking noise when it's in place. Okay. Okay. Just got the one cable left here. Make sure your tab is up. And, push it down. Then push your retainer clip down. Okay. Now we put our cover on. I might have to come back to this connector again. If I have no functions on this these controls on this side cover. But what I'll do is I will have to program this new board anyway with the Radar W software, but that's a bit of a lengthy affair. I will try and do a video on that if possible, but for now let's button this up. I'll just put 2 screws in it and see can I get this cable back in place. Seem to want to go in at an angle. And you will see two connectors in there. You'll see the connector for the cable for the controls, and you see another connector here below it, white connector, you can see it there, and that's for the jig for doing your adjustments. It would plug into there. It's a CPC jig. Could be it's either CPC 13 or a CPC 8. And I'll have a look in the service manual. Anyway, let's put a battery on this and see what happens. Zoom out a bit. Okay. As you can see, we have picture now. Zooms in, zooms out. And let's get rid of the menu on the screen. Okay. Port for VCR mode. It's ejecting OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tape in it and see is it playing. Head switching point hasn't been set up on this deck to match this PCB. And as you can see, we have some problems. Sound is coming and going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an adjustment on the head switcher now. Service tool here. It's a lanc remote, it's called. I'm going to put my cable into the port. Switch the camera at the VCR mode. Okay, it's up. There is a tape in it, and I'll get rid of the menu, just easier. And we're going to now concentrate on this tool. Now I'm going to put this to one side. I don't have a battery in this. I've got a charger in this, because what I don't want is the battery to go flat when I'm in the middle of programming. I'll get you a closer shot of this tool now. Camera is in the VCR mode, switched on. Put this to its service position, and what I have to do is go to page 0, address 01. So we're on page 0, address 01, and the data should be 01 in there. Okay. Now we go to page 3. So 3, and we go to address 71. Address 71, the data should be 01. This time I got to press the right key. Okay. Got to go to page Z. Address 10. And I've got to change the data to EE. It's already EE. Press the right key. Go to page 3. And address 3. The data should be FF. FF, press the pause, press the right button. Okay, we got to go to page 3. We're on page 3, and we got to go to address 21. 21. Check the data is 02, which it is. Okay, we got to go to page 3 and address 01. Want 0D in here. Press the right button. Now we got to go to address 2 on page 3. Check the data changes to 00, which it is. It has changed to 00. Go to page 3, address 3. So we're on page 3, address 3. Check the data is 00. Okay, we got to go to address 3, page 3, address 01. So 01, and the data is 00. Press the right button. Now we got to go to page 3, address 70. We're on page 3, so we go to address 70. That's address 70. And the data you have to change to 10. Press the right key. And then you check to see does it change to 11, which it has. Go to address page 0. Go to page 0, address 01. Check to see is 00. Okay. Okay. Right, let's just check our tape deck now. And as you can see, it's playing okay. There is a lot more program to do, but it would be just too long. I'll try to make another video on the Radar W software in general. Hope that's some help out there. When you replace that board, that's not the end of it. There's a lot of programming. Thanks for watching.